Okay, hi guys. My name is Colin Ford. I'm the programmer of Doc and Roll. Thanks a million for joining us. We have the co-directors Olivier Joliet here and Matthias Willie. Hi guys.
Hi, Tom. Hi,
Hi.
everyone.
Hi.
Um, First of all, congratulations on making a very unique film about a very unique artist, to say the least. So my first query or question is like, where did you first come across Manuel and his band and his artistry, basically, and why did you decide to follow it and to document it?
Well, we are all living in Basel, but
Yes.
I knew Manuel from the other project he's playing with Bird Mask. So I'm
Okay.
a couple of times live there. But actually, the first time I heard about Zeal Ardor was on Facebook. Strange enough, his best friend posted that Rolling Stone USA just wrote this is the most interesting album of the year, and I was kind of surprised that I have to realize that amazing band is out of my own town I live in.
Yeah.
So I checked because I work as a journalist back then, and then so I was checking like who's this, and I saw okay, this is Manuel. Tried to give him a call, and he said like, look, right now I can't tell you anything because it's just too many things going on with a new label, with new management, and but with everything that was he told me off the record, it got more interesting, and
Yeah.
I listened to more music, and then with Matthias, we already did a couple of music projects together, but mostly about we did books or projects like more with books and photographs and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we thought like, okay, now we have the chance to have a music story that we are totally interested in, like how it's going to develop, what's going on with them,
Yeah.
and it's in our hometown. So let's try something new. Let's try to make a movie.
Great. Great.
Yeah, and for me, I work a lot as a photographer. So Manuel's manager called me. He got a new, really unique artist, and I was booked for his first promotion pictures, and so I learned about his story, and yeah, so like Olivier told, we work a lot for music things. So for us, it was just clear to follow him, to follow his history.
And what year did you start production on this? Like how long did it take? Or when did you first start shooting and when like basically how long did it take the process?
Well, filming we started
think-
January 17, I'd say,
Yeah, and
and
end
it
of
was
16. Yeah.
Right, and then with the whole
and
COVID thing in the mix, it's been delayed for a year and a half, I guess, as well because there was a
yeah, we were filming more or less like 5 years. Of course, then we have this Corona years as well. But I mean, it was part of the development as well. I mean, we didn't want to show it in the movie like, okay, now we have people with masks and the
sure.
empty streets, like what you see in quite many documentaries. But it was kind of a important thing for Manuel, I think, because back then he had a break and could. I don't want to spoil now, no, because this is going to be before. This is going to be before the
Well,
movie.
no, I think yeah, I'm not too sure where we're actually going to place this.
Well, let's just say okay, it has a value or it has an impact. It had an impact on him, but we didn't really make and now Corona.
Yeah, okay.
Uh,
So, so during the process, did you see or witness Manuel's evolution as an artist there, like along the road with different gigs? So, like, I guess you traveled with him to some extent for some of his international gigs.
A lot, yeah, especially
yeah,
in the beginning.
really a
I
lot.
mean, because I mean, in the beginning was more like we didn't know what story is waiting for us. So in the beginning, we just followed like what's going to happen with them. Because I mean, all the musicians he's playing together in the band, none of them had experience except the bass player. She
All
was
right.
experienced. All the others didn't play outside Basel till they
Oh,
went on tour with Seal and Daughter, and then it was like Paris, London, Berlin, blah blah blah. And so in the beginning, it was really more the question for us like, uh, can a project that is hyped in the internet and then brought on stage with a bunch of friends
yeah.
he brought together, how can this work out well? Or I mean, we all know the classic traps you have in rock and roll business. I mean, they have ego problems, drugs, blah blah blah. Nothing happened. Fortunately, nothing of that category happened, but many other things. So then, while filming, while following, we had our focus changed, and we focused on other questions, or more on like what all this publicity and everything. How is this for Manuel, and
Sure.
especially for the impact on his creativity?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was really special for us in production, because we couldn't plan a lot. We just knew it happens right now. We have to be there right now, and when we're not there, it will be it will be over. So we just jumped in, and yeah, the story developed while the production time.
It sounds like it was, you had an affinity with the band members in terms of you jumped in at the deep end like they did, and it just went with the flow, and you captured the story as
Yeah.
it's happening. I mean, it's a very organic way of shooting. It's great. It's
Yeah, actually, I think if we would have arrived in the beginning and told them like, "Hey, we're gonna join you now for the next 5 years, and we're gonna make a full-length documentary," I don't think Manuel would have been happy to have us with him. But just in the beginning, he was maybe like overwhelmed, or was just so many things going on that he was, "Poof, so what? Yeah, come and film." So, and then with time, after a couple of years, especially when he went through his crisis, it was good to being together already for 3 or 4 years. Then so it was possible then to catch the moments we needed to have for a documentary.
Great. You just answered my next question, which was kind of how did Manuel feel when you approached him initially with the idea? But basically,
I mean, you can imagine if you want to disappear, and then the least thing you want to have is a documentary crew following you. But then, of course, it really needed a couple of coffees and a beer or two, and to tell him like, because of course the question was then how long you want to follow, and there we really could tell him that, well, till he decided whether he goes on or whether he stopped the project. And then of course we needed to know like why he made more music, or why he wanted to stop or so. And when we had this, then we kind of had a story to tell that has a final point.
And so one thing I forgot to mention to the audience, unfortunately, Manuel's a little bit ill at the moment. He couldn't join us on this Zoom. Is he at the moment in recording new album? Is he about to go on tour? Do you know anything about his movements?
Yeah, we were talking on the phone a couple of days ago, and actually, yeah, they're right now they're in the studio. So this is very good news for probably someone in the cinema. And for the first time, they're gonna record as a band. So till now, it was mostly Manuel. I mean, of course, he's writing the songs and he does the pre-productions and everything. But now they record as a band. So every musician is in the studio as well.
Brilliant, exciting.
Yeah.
So how did Manuel feel about the film when you first showed it to him? I know there's a process of like getting sign off from the artist. It's a critical, nerve-wracking situation for the director. So how did that go?
This was a really special moment for us, because Manuel and the band, they haven't seen anything of the film before the first rough cut, and so we showed them, and yeah, we were really nervous, but everybody liked it. So
this was because, of course, when you're in the when you're about to cut the movie, when you're then you kind of lose the, how to say, like before, when you're together while filming on tour together, and then you're kind of part of the crew, although you're not part of the crew, but you're together 24/7 for 4 weeks or so when you're touring the US. And then afterwards, when you're in the cutting process, then you have to find a distance, and those friends that you filmed now the last 5 years become kind of figures of characters also. So that was very. Did we lose the characters while focusing or something, or is it still real? Like, how do they feel when they see it? And it was very relieving for us when they say, like, this is kind of a diary written by someone else.
Right. And in terms of the difficulties that we have encountered ourselves as producers when we produced the film on Polystyrene from X-Ray Specs, the punk singer from Brixton, there's always the main issues with music documentaries is to try and get over primarily the music rights and be able to afford to clear the music, and also, of course, a third-party footage, the archive and that. So was that a very difficult process for you, a very costly thing, or were the labels involved amenable to what you were trying to do?
Actually, we of course we spend more money on music than you would do on a regular or on a documentary that is not about a musician. But in terms that the music is kind of a very is a character as well in the documentary, so I think it's worth to spend that money. But I couldn't tell you any figures or numbers because this was something that Frank Matter, our producer, dealt with.
That sometimes these projects get held up by a year or 2 or 3 in relation to trying to cross that line and trying to be able to afford the situation. So I'm glad to hear you of that stumbling block.
It was while we were working on it. Sometimes, yes, we were waiting a little longer than we hoped to wait. But in the end, when we had when we really were cutting and stuff, then we could use whatever we wanted to. So no, this was very welcoming after having cleared the stuff.
Right. And in terms of following Manuel for the 4 or 5 years that you're shooting, like, you learned a lot about him and saw him develop it. What did you learn about yourself on the road on this shoot process?
For me, 2 things. Like one main thing is like, don't focus too much on one piece you're working on. It's all about like making stuff and publish it, or just don't stay too much on one particular thing, because then you lose it. And don't be. And the other thing is the whole thing with what is allowed and what is not allowed. Also with that him as a person of color, and also with a white background or whatever, he is very open. Or let's say like he accepts if someone makes a mistake or so. Then it's not like, oh, I never talk to this guy again or like this. So it's I like the way he treats other people that maybe are not like him.
I understand. That's great. He's compassionate.
I just really like his playful works to mix everything and not to be stuck in one direction and throw everything together. So
right.
Yeah, it's hard to explain that.
Creative process. So congratulations, you've had the film feature in some great film festivals. I know you're coming up in Doc NYC in New York in a week's time or so, I think.
Yeah, next weekend. Yeah.
Well, that's a great festival, to say the least. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
We have arranged to release your film globally online on the 21st of November. So I guess you're a little bit excited about that, as we are.
Absolutely.
Not only a little bit, very.
For the audiences in the cinema, we're going to be releasing that in the UK and Ireland initially on Doc and Roll TV, or on streaming channel, and it's going to eventually be on Apple TV and Prime in the UK and Ireland as well. And it's getting a global release across the world on all of the major streaming platforms from the 21st of November onwards. So you can tell your friend about that in terms of.
That's really great and really important film.
Thank you. Looking forward to seeing how it's received. So let's leave it at that. Congratulations again, Olivier and Mateos. Thanks for joining us, and best of luck with your next projects.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a great festival and
Thank
till
you.
next time. Ciao, zusammen.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.